So that's how the bookkeeping buddy system came to be, called the 10-minute money date that you do once a month. The series of events is very straightforward. It takes longer to explain than it does to do. You take your bank statement or your credit card statement, either one, you upload it to this AI system, which I'll show you, and then it's going to spit out a table. You copy the table into a Google Sheet that I've already pre-formatted and everything, and then that's it. So it'll spit out a profit and loss separated by month that's automatically categorized. And you can change the categories if you want, because the AI is not perfect. It's not going to necessarily know that Smith's is a chemical place versus a gas station versus a whatever. So you might have to do a little bit of tweaking of the categories, but that's really it. So I was thinking that I would just show you guys how it works, if that's cool with you guys.
Let's do it.
So you should see Quick and Dirty Ledger System V3. Everybody see that?
Yeah, I see.
Okay. So this is ChatGPT. Has everybody used ChatGPT by this point? Everybody familiar? Okay. So this is a custom GPT that I created. And even if you have a free account, you can still use it. Sometimes what happens with the free accounts is you'll get like limited on the amount of data you can run through it. So sometimes that's an issue, but you still use this without any sign up fees or anything. I have a corporate account on it, so yeah, I pay them plenty of money. But this is how it works. So you go to the system, and I'll give you guys uploaded copies, and you upload a bank statement. So I just dragged a PDF statement that I got from my bank. This one's back from September. So I will say, please process the bank statement and hit enter. Now, sometimes the thing about AI is every time it's different. So sometimes it will ask you some questions. Sometimes it won't, and sometimes it'll just spit out a table. And so it's giving me a preview of all this stuff. Card purchases, whatever. So it's saying it found 42 transactions. Now, the thing about bank statements that you guys might not be aware of, because I see a lot of different bank statements. Banks are totally different as far as how they present information. So that's one of the difficulties with doing this kind of extraction. But the AI is usually smart enough to figure it out. So next step, before I generate a paginated TSV, which is a tab separated value table, with categories assigned and bank logic increase, decrease columns, blah, blah, I need your confirmation. Should I process this? Yes, I want you to apply upload this process. And it's going to do its best, right? I break it into pages of 30 a piece, just because sometimes if you go too long, it'll crap out. Or if you have a very long bank statement with a whole lot of transactions, sometimes, it'll lose its way in the middle of the feed. So if you do it like 30 by 30, it generally does a pretty good job. So it's got 30 there and it did the other 12. Okay, great. So then I have this sheet. And let me make a copy because this is actually the master sheet. And it tells you instructions on what to do. This was a checking account. So all I do is I copy, I go here, I go to checking, and I paste. And then I go down here, I copy the next batch, and then I go to over here. Now, this particular account is a spending account of mine, so there's no income, which is correct. But it found advertising, it found bank fees, it found contractors, government fees, other payroll fees, software, taxes, and utilities. Now, is that 100% correct? In my case, that's about 95% correct. Now, I just happen to know that because I've looked at my own statements a lot. But when you go through, you can go back and you can change the categories in two different ways. So one is right here. You can just change the type of thing. Or in the GPT itself, let's say Slack is not software. Let's say you recategorize Slack as a travel expense, and then should say, okay, yeah. So now it's marked as travel because for whatever reason, for me, that's travel, right? Everybody's business is different. Right. So what's true for me is not necessarily going to be true for you. But if you work with the AI a little bit and do that tweaking of the categories, it'll just do whatever you say. And then you can copy and paste that and it'll change how the categorization shows up over here on the P&L. Now, I've only put in 1 month here, so there's only a 9, which is September. But as you fill this out, as you do this month after month, you can match that thing spreads out quite a bit. And I have tried my best to make this system as easy as possible. That A, it's free. B, it takes literally minutes a month, unless you have just crazy complex stuff. So that leaves C, is that a lot of people don't want to face the numbers in the bank account. There's an intimidation factor about what's going on in the business. But that's the beginning of figuring out what to do. Because the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to their books and finance and everything is that they just look at it and they say, I need to do that for taxes at the end of the year, so I'll get to it in July of next year. But waking up and just seeing if there's money in the account or not is not a great plan. And the beginning of making better decisions is knowing where you are and what has happened. But you don't know that, whether you're succeeding at that or not, unless you're actually looking at your numbers.